Say some things that might be usable for the intro. Let's do that.
Intro. Say the podcast name. Say our names. And then share what we think it is.
Welcome to It's Happening for You.
For you. This is It's Happening for You, the podcast with Robin Maharay.
Maharay, I couldn't remember how to say it again.
And
Stephanie Lentini. We love you.
Love you. And then the music. The music begins. Hello, hello. Hello, can you hear me out there?
Hello.
I told
to
you.
all of our listeners.
I told you this mic just like brings me to another level.
Yeah, it's quite legit, and I want one.
Yeah, see, you returned yours. Now you're jealous.
Oh, so I just got to tell you.
Okay, yes.
I have had maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say, but I feel like I have had one of the best days of my life today.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we've been talking for a while.
That's why I was like, okay, press record because I have to tell you.
Wow. Okay. I was not expecting that. That's incredible. Now I'm so excited to hear more. Wow. You said today was crazy, and I didn't know how to interpret that.
That's a good point.
Crazy, amazing.
Amazing.
Oh.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh. Tell me.
Emotionally,
Hmm.
there's nothing that like particularly occurred that I'm not like, oh, I won the lottery today or something, you
Yeah.
know? But and like that does not take away from the significance of the like pleasure of my day.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've cried 3 times today,
Oh.
and I'm certain of it, like, it's like I experienced a whole new level of love and appreciation that, like, then the tears kind of come spilling out because
Yes.
it's, like, sort of as much as I can handle for the moment.
Yep. Oh yeah. I know that feeling. Yep.
And one was this morning at, like, 8 a.m., and I
Mm.
was working on the website that I was just showing you for Gina, and I was like, I think it was just the frequently asked questions section.
Okay.
So many things, but, like, I was just like, "It's so beautiful, like, this is so fun," and Gina's been up since, like, 6 this morning, like, sending me edits and stuff,
Oh
and
wow.
I couldn't, like, help myself, but to just the first thing I did was I got out of bed, I made coffee, and then I brought my computer downstairs, and I sat at the, like, breakfast bar thing, and I just drank my coffee, ate my protein bar, and worked on the website for 2 hours straight, and when I
Wow.
stopped, I, like, paused. I was feeling so good. I texted Gina and I said, "Can I call you?" Because I just wanted to, like, spill some of it. I want not spill because, like, that's actually something that I think is a fun thing to talk about and revisit in a moment is the desire to share when you're feeling that way.
Yeah.
It was more like I knew she would match it, and so I wanted to, like, amp it up together,
Yes.
and she didn't respond right away, so I scrolled through her, like, thousands of texts that she had sent me in the morning, and I found th that Abraham clip that said, "King of the world" with the hummingbird picture, and
Ugh.
I hadn't seen that she sent that to me, and so I pressed play on it, and it's only like a 5-minute clip, and it was just, like, talking about, like, how it's not about the cars and it's not about the money, it's
Mm.
about the emotions, and
Yep.
that's when I cried for the first time today because I was
Oh.
just like, "It is about the emotions." Like,
Yes. Oh.
There's nothing better than like this moment where I just feel like so in love and
Mm.
alive
Oh.
and pleased.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then I was like, I was deliberate. I'm just gonna walk you through like the my day really quick.
Yes,
The
please.
best day of my life. Um, I was like, okay, I'm feeling amazing. I'm going to stop on this focus for now, and go focus on something else. Or,
Mhm.
and I was like, I told you I wanted to meet a friend at the gym, so
Yes.
it was around like 9:40, and so I did all the dishes. I cleaned the whole kitchen, which felt amazing, and it felt so good. The night before, I did not want to do them, and I'm glad I didn't make myself, because when I
Yes.
today, there was so much pleasure. I was doing it for myself, and I was feeling so good that it was like fun. It wasn't like a chore.
Yeah.
It was fun,
Yes.
and I was like, okay, the dishes are done. The counters look so good. Then I brushed my teeth, and I just like with such deliberateness, and I got myself dressed and I ate a banana, and then I was like, I'm going to the gym. And I haven't had a gym session like that maybe ever again, maybe ever. Like
Wow.
I went to meet the friend and I didn't tell her I was coming. She didn't even show up today, but she works out with the trainer, and he was like, "Well, we can do something if you want." And I was like, "Awesome. I would love to." And it I like warmed up on the bike for a minute while he was chit-chatting with people in the gym, and then he was like, "What do you wanna do?" And he just like custom built. I said I wanna do back and I wanted to do chest, and anyway, that's not really a detail that's important, but he really he taught me a lot of things that I've been curious about, like
Wow.
lifting and weight training, and we talked about diet, and we talked about all sorts of stuff. And I got the one-on-one from him, which was really cool. I got to bounce things off of him and kind of tell him what my desires are, my goals, and he gave me some recommendations based on that. And then he was like, "All right, have you done your cardio today?" And I was like, I haven't done cardio. And he was like, "You gotta do cardio." And I don't really do things that I don't wanna do, but I was
Yeah.
already feeling so good that
Yeah.
I was like, "You know what? Yeah, I gotta do cardio." And he was like, "Just, like, I don't know, set it like on an incline and walk really fast, or you can decide." And I got on the treadmill and I just put both my headphones in and blasted the music, and within, like, 2 minutes of being on the treadmill, I turned up the speed to, like, 7.5 miles per hour, because I just felt like I wanted to run so fast.
Oh my
I was, like,
gosh.
listening to music, and my legs were, like, heavy and light at the same time, and they were, like, tingling, and I literally felt like
Wow.
I was on ecstasy. I felt like I was on drugs.
Oh my god.
And I'm just, like, grinning from ear to ear, smiling, running, and then I could that's, like, not sustainable speed for me, so I, like, did 30 seconds, and then, like, I came down to, like, a brisk walk, and I was, like, singing and dancing in the treadmill, like, and the 15 minutes flew by.
Wow.
Flew by, and I leave the gym, I pop my music into CarPlay so that it's playing in the van, and I'm in the big our big van, and I'm just like I just, like, fly out of there, not in dangerous way, but in a very, awesome way.
Yeah.
Like, "Yeah!" I'm driving down the street, and I'm like, "Dun, dun, 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 uh." You know? And
I love this.
so I get home, and I'm just like, "Okay, I'm feeling really great. I'm gonna take the dogs for a walk." Again, I've been sort of like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I gotta take the dogs for a walk." I was like, "No, I
Yeah.
want to take the dogs for a walk. I'm gonna put on my music and keep listening and
Ah,
keep juicing on this."
yeah.
I don't know if I told you this other day, but it's like exactly a mile and it's exactly a square.
No,
And
no, you didn't.
sometimes I get to like the first line of the square and I'm like, "Oh, I just want to turn around." No, I was like just so excited. By the third by the third line, the third part of the box, I was like a song came on that I started skipping with the dogs. I was literally like singing and
I love
skipping,
it.
like so hyped. And by the
Oh.
last line of the square, I was crying.
Oh.
Like I was smiling so big at all the cars that were passing me. Like I could just tell that they were aware of me and like could see my smile and were uplifted by the feelings that were coming off of my body and
Wow.
out of my being, that when I did that final turn to make it on the way, I cried the whole way. I was just like,
Oh.
wow. Like, so I ate lunch, our nails done. And that's when I was like, we got to meet now or we're not going to meet. I was like, amped.
Yeah.
I was, I was like level 10, verging on 11.
Yeah. Blast off.
And then I went and laid on the couch in the backyard in the sun, and I just like settled down back to like a 9 or something, and just felt fully integrated
Ah,
and calm again and peaceful.
mm.
And that was the best day ever.
Oh my gosh, Steph.
And here we are now.
Oh my gosh. There's so many things I love about that story.
I'm sweating
Um, oh my god.
profusely. My feet, I've never felt them sweat like this.
Oh
My
my
face
gosh.
is so red. Like
So much.
alive. I just feel so alive.
Yeah, like so much energy moving through your system right now.
Yeah.
Ah, oh my gosh. It was so funny because when I got your text, you're like, I don't know how it felt like you were saying like it's now or never. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. I just got the phone. Give me 20. Like and I was like, I really don't want to miss talking to her today. Like for some reason, like it just felt really,
Well,
I really wanted to talk to you today.
that's what it was. Like I was literally like, it's because Gina's like ready to announce the website
Ah,
and might go live tonight and whatever.
oh my
She's like,
gosh.
what are your plans like? I need you to be available, basically. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's where that
Yes.
kind of
I know. I was like, oh shit.
but when I
But of course
down,
it
yeah,
was
when I think
perfect
like
timing though.
calm down, like chill
Yeah.
out. Yes. And it was perfect.
I I was cracking up because you're like, I've chilled out now. There's no rush. We're good. I was like, okay. I don't know what was happening. I was like, great. I'm glad we can ease into this conversation. But okay. Just really funny. Um, okay. So what I would like the first and foremost thing I would like to say though about your experience is so I would say like one of my and I don't know if we talked about this prior to this moment or not, but one of my like things that kind of shows up for me that I am putting focus on and energy to remove myself from old behaviors and thought patterns and raise my consciousness around it is my body, around my body.
Mhm.
And I always so I'm very it's something that's in my awareness right now and I give a lot of time and energy to and part of that process that I do is imagining me feeling in my perfect body. Now, the step further than that is, the perfect body is here now, right? It's here, it exists now. But when I meditate about it and visualize it, I imagine running like
Mm,
you described on that treadmill, but I imagine myself on a beach running
mhm,
as fast as I can and feeling so free,
mhm,
but like alive and energized and the vitality rushing through my system. And so it was so for me, just thank you for sharing this story because it feels like you today embodied what I know is possible and what I've been visualizing for myself. And I find it so fucking cool that you don't even know any of that. Yet here we are having this conversation. And I I also completely resonate and understand that feeling of like there's so much energy it's so much love like rushing through your system that it just can't help but come out in tears. These like abundant, happy, joyful, like I just feel like it's so much love that my body, how to process it and integrate it is through releasing tears. And
Mhm.
I know how that feels because I do that quite often because I do feel this abundant energy that comes through and that's how it moves through my system. So
Yeah.
I just love also hearing that you got to that place where then that's what the reaction you had as
Yeah.
well. Cause I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it is one of the best feelings.
It's there's nothing like it. And
There's nothing like it. Yep.
the way that I describe it or the way that like I interpret it for myself is like like if I have a container or capacity for um feeling a particular emotion, it almost feels like my capacity has been reached and it spills over, but I know
Yes.
that like in reaching that outer limit, I'm increasing the size of the container um
Yes.
to hold more next time or ongoing. I just see it as like this sort of expansion of the ability to feel.
Yes.
And yeah, sometimes I reach my outer limits of what I'm capable of at the moment or comfortable with. Like, the, like talking about receiving desires and like things showing up in the physical, like I know for sure Abraham says like when it shows up, it feels obvious. It feels like the next logical thing that were to happen. And you've been gradually expanding your ability to maintain the vibration. If something
Yes.
does come into your experience that you're not quite steady or practiced with the vibration of it, it might come in and go out because there's like a doubt that you know whatever we can call it whatever we want, but just like it not a steadiness with the maintenance of the particular vibration, and nothing's wrong
Yes.
with that. But
Mm.
like anyway, that's sort of how I see it is like, oh, I just sort of like kind of reach these outer limits and like there's more now. Like I'm at a new vantage point now and like
Yes.
what's it gonna feel like next time?
Yes. Yes. Totally. Absolutely. I have 100% experienced exactly what you just described. Because there was a time when I was feeling so much energy within my system and being very conscious of building that energy within my system that I was like crying every day. These tears, these happy tears. And that's not where I am anymore because I have integrated that within my system like you're speaking about is that vibration, right? I now ha- have been able to expand
Yeah.
to contain that
Yes.
in this human vessel.
Yeah.
And there's just like now more, more, more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool.
And maintain it. And also, I think it's really funny that like the story of my day brought up the topic of body because that's been something that I've been actively um, sort of revisiting in terms
Oh,
of my desires
did not
with
know
my
this.
body specifically. And
Yeah.
I know you didn't know that about me at
Yeah.
all. And it's like that in and of itself has been a new thing um, there's a part of me that's like, how far back do I go? But like, I'll just do sort of like a brief intro to like how I see the last, couple of years of my personal vibrational awareness and attunement um has been more deliberate in the last couple of years. Like I was saying last time we talked, from joining Gina's group coaching program. And some of the first topics that were kind of glaring and obvious and important for me, more important for me to visit at the time, were money, career,
Yeah.
and relationship. And
Okay.
those were sort of the ones that were most wobbly for me.
Mm.
And also when I joined the program at the time, my body was sort of in the shape that I wanted it to be.
Okay.
Um, and what I noticed over the last 2 years is that I've gained some weight, and I've also let go of some hobbies and activities that maintained my body as I preferred it. Um, and it's really cool. And I feel like even that was happening for me in many ways, of course. Everything is, but what I've really been able to release because of, or I don't know if because of is the right wording, but like I was so afraid that Thomas was going to leave me for someone skinnier than me from the beginning of our relationship.
Yeah.
The insecurity of like, I'm not small enough. And I
Yeah.
was smaller than I am now. I mean, I was like, I pretty much had a six pack and, like,
How
but
much smaller could you have got it?
I was, I thought I'd have like nightmares about him like leaving me for a ballerina, like
Oh.
things like
Oh
this.
my, love it.
And as I've slowly accumulated more weight, the amount of his love has not changed. If anything, it's grown.
Oh.
And I have been able to, I can't say completely, but I have been able to detach my feelings of self-worth and my lovability from my body through the
Mm.
gaining of weight. Because it was
Yes.
something I was so afraid of.
Yeah.
And like it happened anyway that I gained, and he loves me more than
Yeah.
ever.
Oh, I just got
What
chills.
and I'm like,
Mm.
after I had like this like awareness back in the fall of like, oh, it doesn't matter what I look like. He loves me. That those things are not related. I'm certain that was really getting integrated when I was listening to the counsel book. Because
Mm.
all I listened to the counsel book like every day for like a month in October or something.
Mm.
And I was
Oh,
like, these two things are not related. They
yeah.
do not have to be related. I'm
Yeah.
not worthy based on my body size.
Yeah.
And after that, though, I started asking myself, what do I want? What is my desire with my body? If it wasn't a desire that's related to getting more love from someone or getting
Yes.
more affection or more attention or more whatever, more eyes on me. Now I can ask myself, like kind of having released some of that story, I started asking myself, what do I want for me? Like,
Mm.
what is my preference?
Yeah.
And it's been a couple months, 3 months of sort of playing within that space of like, sort of dipping my toes into like, the idea of exercising again, the idea of like altering my diet, just not necessarily dieting, but altering what I eat. And feeling into my guidance around that as I'm a little bit more clear on what my desire is just for me.
Yes.
And it's been cool. It's been a cool journey. There is action involved in it for me, but in such a pleasurable way now, and like when I notice that I'm taking action to get results, I kind of pull back and step back and again detach from an outcome and detach from a result. And I also am like learning in a bigger way how to allow a desire of body without judging that as like a wrong desire to have.
Yeah, exactly. When you just said that there, what Sarah Landon talks about a lot is how a lot of people, a lot of, I think she says it kind of in like the spiritual community of like where people don't want to say that they want to be rich.
Yeah.
They think that's like greedy or they have this kind of stigma around it. And it's like there is nothing wrong with wanting to be rich. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have whatever body you want to have, whatever desire, there's nothing wrong with it. But
Exactly.
we just have these layers of like, I mean, so many layers of societal, stories that have built and what we've learned from our parents and whatnot too, right? That we're unraveling. And it's like the truth of the matter is that we have everything we want now and have always had it. It's
Mhm.
not something that we need to like seek outside of ourselves, but it's a matter of really just allowing it. And so
Mhm.
I love everything you just said. And I feel like I'm in the process of really allowing that desire
Yeah.
of my perfect body
Yeah.
and what that looks like to me. And it's, really because it's such a deep ingrained thing for me on my journey. I've just fluctuated in my weight over my entire life. And it's always been like, okay, diet, like really diet, like do these crazy diets and then like work out like a mad woman. And then, of course, like with that much efforting, you do get results
Yeah.
but in the process, you're experiencing a lot of restriction and suffering.
Yeah.
And it's just what we have learned like, okay, you want this, then you have to do it this way. And
Yes.
I am really unraveling myself from that really old neuro pathway that I created at such a young age. And every time that I feel this urge to be like, oh, I have to work out today. And
Yeah.
it's like, wait, what's here? Does my body want to move today?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it does want to be active. What would bring me the most joy to express my body today?
Yeah.
And that is such a different a way to approach it I've never done before in my entire life. It's
Yes.
always been like, I should, I
Yes.
have to.
Yes.
And then I put this major pressure on myself and then get disappointed if I don't meet my expectations or
Yep.
whatever. And so, like, I'm on this whole other journey of, and it's exciting because the last couple years, I also have gained weight with all my traveling and, just living life and whatever. But I really think this is happening, of course, for me as well to experience this approaching it in this way where I will not go back to the old way. I know that's old way, 3D way of
Yes.
approaching it. And I'm in the 50 now. I'm in, 50
Yeah.
dimension of reality. And that's how I want to do everything in my life,
Yes. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, actually, as you're saying that, like, I almost feel like there's like this topic collectively or by the sort of spiritual community hasn't actually been addressed in a vibrational way quite yet. Like it feels sort of like new territory to
Yeah.
start looking at this topic of
Yep.
food and weight and exercise and movement from a vibrational standpoint and one of what's my guidance here and
Yes.
like rewrite the entire script on how that looks. Um, because one of my mantras, or not because, but one of my mantras of late has been I hear Oprah saying this, and I swear I told you this last time. I hear Oprah saying this in my head. She said it to Gina once. Your body wants to move.
Mm,
Body likes to move.
yep.
And when I think about movement now, I think about how it would feel pleasurable to move it and
Yeah.
for how long as well. And I've been
Yes.
a- attempting to bring more um, movement throughout my day, or even more awareness of the movement that I'm taking. And in smaller amounts too, like just
Yes.
stretching for a few minutes, or rolling on the foam roller for like 30 seconds, or dancing to one song. And then occasionally I feel incredibly inspired to go to the gym and lift weights, or to do something that's intense cardio. Um, Another thing that I've been sort of bringing into this new exploration is the awareness that um this sort of, I don't know, thing will garner its own momentum over time. It's another thing I heard Oprah say to Gina is like, just remove the wooden block in front of the tire, and it'll like get it rolling. Just remove the block and you'll start rolling. You'll dance for one song, and then the next time you'll dance for one song, and then the next time. And it's not like every day. You might want to go
Yeah.
for a walk. You might just enjoy walking up the stairs, whatever the case is, and it gains its own momentum.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
'cause at first I was really trying to put the gas on and say, "Okay, you started this now. You keep going, and if you feel tired, you don't stop." That sort of thing.
Yes. Yes.
And I kept hurting myself. Each week I would be like,
Yes.
"Oh," or, "Oh, I can't walk," and I was
Totally.
reaching the point where it wasn't inspired anymore. I was going beyond my guidance, and then there was visible resistance in my body from
Yes.
me trying to put the gas on it. It's like, chill out.
Mhm.
You're not trying to get
Yes.
anywhere anyway. Although we might have an image of like the amount of money we want right now, or the type of body we want right now, or this or that. Like, it's not about actually getting there. It's a freaking journey and the pleasure of like the movement. Your body wants to move, your spirit wants to move, your
Yes.
emotions want to move.
Yep.
It's just about the
Yep.
flow. Everything wants to
Yes.
have some movement.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
seriously like on drugs today. Like, who am I? Look
I
at my face.
freaking love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm so glad we're doing this today. This is amazing. And I feel like this conversation will continue, of course, to like expand and grow as we are embodying this. But it's something I'm really excited about of do approaching it in this way where it's actually when I reflect on it like later down the road, I'll be like, wow, that felt effortless the entire time.
Mhm.
It felt effortless even though I was taking action, but
Exactly.
it's because I was taking inspired action. I wasn't doing I need to do this or do that. It's because I'm doing joyful things every moment.
That is so key. Like, that's what like, the
Okay.
dishes today, when last night it was so effortful to do them, and then today when I did them, it was so pleasurable. And the same thing is available with exercise, with the food that we eat, with the work that we do, with,
Yes.
you know, any sort of action. When it comes from an inspired place, it doesn't feel like effort because it's what you wanna do.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
there's nothing else you'd rather be doing.
It's the best. Like yesterday, I really like it was just this beautiful day. It was sunny here, but there was this like this breeze.
Mhm.
And I was like, I really want to go on a walk. I love going on walks in new neighborhoods. And this is, still a new neighborhood for
Yes.
me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to walk this way and then see where it takes me. And I had the most incredible walk yesterday. And I was gone for like an hour and a half, like going up into the hills, like and I was passing neighbors, like people that were walking, and every single person said hi and was like really sweet and
Yeah.
talkative. And I just had the best experience. And I was like, I would have never wanted to do anything else
Yeah.
at that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was perfection. It wasn't because I was like, I have to go on a walk. I have to
Yes.
get exercise. It was because like I really wanted to.
Yeah.
This is so good. This is so good. I love this because, and then the other thing that I wanted to say today, because I think this is just so fun, and I know this is not like new information by any means, but it's something that I'm focusing on right now, is that whole concept of, if, and Sarah's been talking about this recently, is like, if, like, right in this moment, you have whatever desire you think it is that you want to be having, then what would you be doing? How would you be living your life today if that
If
desire
you really
already
want. Yeah.
existed?
Mhm.
Already was there. You already had all that money in the bank. You already had your perfect body. You already had the
Mhm.
perfect partner, whatever it is, whatever your desires are. You have that already today. Check off. No, nothing to do.
Yes.
What would you do then? And I love that. I love like thinking about that. And it's just like, oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Like, complete freedom, like no pressure,
There's
right?
a part of me that let's take body for example. Like there's a part of me that when I think about if I had that, I think it does for me activate a little bit of lack of like, well, I don't. Because the first thing I thought, like if I had my perfect body, I would be out in my bathing suit just like flaunting it. And then it was like a very quick like follow-up to that was like, but I don't, and that's not how I look in my bathing suit, and I'm not gonna do that. But I feel almost like the question is more so not like, what would you do if you had it? But saying you do have everything you want, like, what do you want to do right now? Not
Yeah.
necessarily if I had the perfect body. I'm just reframing for myself. If I had the perfect body, what would I do with the body? More so like if I had everything that I want, and I do, but if I
Yes.
did, how would I sort of allow myself to be free to choose more fun stuff throughout my day?
Yes. Yes. And you know what? I want to go back and kind of change the wording on that. It's actually not like, what would I mean, I think that is the question of like, what would I do? But it's more, as we know, it's all about feeling. What would
How would
I
I feel?
feel?
Yes,
How would I feel?
yes,
And it's like, well, I would feel free to express myself however I want to express myself.
yes.
So you would feel free to put on that bathing suit or put on whatever outfit you want to. And how would that feel?
Yeah,
And feel
yes,
that now.
yes. And
Yeah.
feel the feeling of that now. Totally.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. So
yeah.
needed to reframe that just a little bit, but
Just like
that's,
a
I think,
little bit of
ultimately what
tweaking
it
because,
is.
it can get into that a little bit when you are thinking about your desire or thinking about having it can kind of activate the other side of the stick to use some. It's funny you talk about like Sarah and like the councilisms, and I'm like Abrahamisms, and it's a perfect blend.
Yes.
Like the stick
Yeah.
analogy, like if you're thinking about what you're wanting and it's activating what you're not wanting or what the lack of it, then it's best to not think in specifics on that topic. Like
Yes.
truly,
Yes.
because then you're just activating the feeling of lack versus a feeling
Yes.
like fullness or, whatever is the opposite of lack.
Yes.
not lack,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
And so finding any way to activate a feeling of having everything now
Yes.
and being fully satisfied. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Like just being satiated, content, satisfied in this moment. That
Yes.
is that's what you want to be super fucking deliberate about, in terms of your focus.
Absolutely.
How can I feel more
Yes.
satisfied in this moment right now? What
Yes.
would contribute to satisfaction? A thought, uh, whatever. Like, people have various tools that they use in order to feel better. And that is like continually my focus, every day, all day. It's like, and then if I feel like I'm feeling like today, for example, I was feeling so good that there was almost like a not to a strong degree, but a like, oh my God, I want to feel this way forever sort of awareness of that. This feels so good. I want to feel this way forever. And a reminder that, like, again, emotions want to move, and nothing would feel good if I felt it forever. And I don't need to hold on to it. I can enjoy the feeling of it right now in this moment that I'm experiencing it, and maybe even like close my eyes and savor it and allow it to pass as well, and to morph and to change into something else, and go from ecstasy and bliss and like high as a kite to calm and
Yeah.
satisfied and ease, and just like being good with sort of the movement of both energy and slowerness. But I'm always wanting to be in general on the upper half of the scale, um,
Yeah.
as much as I can.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's always like the experience you had today then proves to your human self that you can access that at any point and
Mhm.
to like you now know it because you've
Yeah,
experienced it. So it's like it's always available for you. Always.
true. And I'm not gonna go chasing the dragon.
Nah, yeah.
I'm trying to run on the treadmill and manufacture the feeling. I'll allow it. I'm gonna remove the little block and allow it to gain its momentum and sort of come back naturally, just with my attention to and my intention to feel good.
Yes. Yes, exactly, exactly. And that's like I think that was a really important thing that you said just a bit ago too about like it's not always about the specifics, like how you were saying about the body piece, right? Like you're
Yes.
like, well, I would be in a bathing suit. Well, I'm not in a bathing suit right now. So then it went into that lack mentality, right? 100% do that all the time. So yes, yes, yes. And it's like, no, what will you feel in that moment?
Yes.
And to me, I'm like, oh, I would feel free to
Yeah.
express myself however I want to express myself. So the feeling is freedom. What
Yeah.
does freedom feel like?
Yeah.
What does freedom feel like in your body?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you close your eyes and it feels flowing and expansive and abundant and juicy and lively and
Like
just
wind in your
flowing.
hair.
Yes, that's exactly it. That's
Like
what just came to
convertible, like
mind.
top down. Maybe
Like,
you've got a driving scarf, maybe you don't.
yeah,
Jam Jam's going, sunny day, perfect temperature, Dr.
can go
Pepper,
anywhere.
just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah, yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah,
Depends on the day.
yeah. Hey. You're free to choose. But it
No choice
is,
is
it's
a
that
wrong
feeling.
choice.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And it's just like, by accessing that vibration, that energy, you're attracting everything like it to you in
Yes.
every area of your life.
Yes. Yeah, there's been, like, a little bit of, this there's been, like, for me, an awareness of a desire to, like, I don't know, maybe, like, have more people aware of me or something like that. Like there's even a little bit of like, I don't really want to say it out loud, but like there's just been like a little bit more of an awareness of a desire within me to be seen more. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
Um
That's what I was gonna say, be seen. Yeah.
and um and like sometimes when I think about that, it's like, is there something I need to do to show other people that like I got it going on, or like I'm a great coach, or like I don't know, I know my stuff, or I'm a vibrational master. You know, those
Yeah.
little thoughts that we all have. And what I've been like revisiting when I'm aware of those thoughts is like, I'm doing it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
am like, there's no like work or greater contribution that I can literally make to the world than the tending to and maintenance of this vibration.
Exactly.
This is
Yes.
the work.
Yeah.
This is my
Yeah.
contribution.
Yes. Yeah. You know, I and there's nothing wrong with it at all, but I have even moved away from resonating with the word work around
Yeah,
it, right? It's
yeah.
just like I actually don't think it needs to be hard, but
Nope.
I think we have put this kind of thought around um raising our consciousness and moving into higher levels of awareness and doing maybe therapy or unraveling ourselves from our past or whatever as work. And
Yes.
we are in such a different vibrational time. I mean, like I'm sure you have heard many times, this there's never been a time like this on planet Earth where so many people are awakening
Yeah.
and their consciousness levels are rising and people are becoming more aware. And I mean, you could just see that in anywhere, like media. Like there's so much more talk about mental health, which was not something that anybody talked
Yeah.
about really before. So but with that being said, just like you just spoke about, that the most important thing is that you are your vibration and how
Yes.
you're showing up in the world, because that is directly affecting everyone, all
Yes.
of humanity.
Yeah.
And it is contributing to everyone
Yeah.
awakening. And because of that, the vibration is so supported for people to move much quicker
Mhm.
through these things, and these always I think of like an onion peeling back like the layers of an
Right.
onion, it's like
Yeah.
those are you could do it instantly now. And like it did take me a long time and I worked a lot with a lot of different professionals to and did a lot of different workshops and all that kind of stuff to like unravel myself from
Mhm.
my past and my old belief systems. But I truly believe that now is such a different time than even 10 years ago, and that
Mhm.
people can awaken like that. And they can awaken just being in your presence and seeing how you live and going, wow, if she can do that, I can do it too.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think spiritual work or growth as like an emphasis is even something that like I'm turning my attention away from a little bit and focusing more on just feeling good, because I know that
Yeah.
what my vibration is like, the emanation of my vibration is like how good I feel essentially.
Yeah.
But I do like that particular, for lack of a better word, work is a deliberate intention throughout my day. Like I focus consistently on what am I thinking and what am I feeling right now, and like that is something that I don't really feel like I've gotten to a place where I don't tend to my thoughts anymore. It's
Mhm.
definitely incredibly easier to just release negative thoughts and click into another sort of emotional state, or awareness, state of awareness,
Yeah.
through releasing these beliefs over time. Um, oh, I wanted to read this thing to you. So you
Oh,
go ahead
yay.
and think about that, but I wanted to tell you for why this new idea of the focus on sort of joy and my pleasure is even more emphasized than on growth because of this passage that I read. So I'm gonna find who I
Oh,
sent it to,
yay.
where it is, but
Oh,
uh,
great, great, great.
yeah,
I love it. I just love, I mean, I feel like a huge shift that happened to me in the more recent years is this understanding that everything is within us, that there is nothing to be fixed,
yeah,
that we are inherently perfect, we are joyful, we are happy, we are abundant. That is our birthright. That
yes, and
is
our
who
yeah,
we truly are.
yes, exactly,
So it's just a matter of like accessing that and allowing it. There's
absolutely.
nothing to fix or figure out, you know?
Oh, the perfect quote to come on the tails. Okay, I'm gonna read it to you. There's 2
Eh,
sections, and it's from, the book Money and the Law of Attraction by Abraham Hicks. But it's in the
right.
section of that book called, like, career or something, like, finding or, like, I don't know, joyous ways of making money or something like that. But anyway, okay, I'm gonna
Okay.
read it to you. You were all born with a triad of intentions pulsing within you: freedom, growth, and joy. Freedom is the basis of that which you are because everything that comes to you comes in response to the thoughts that you think. And no one has control over the thoughts that you think other than you.
Mm.
When joy is your dominant quest, so that you gently train your thoughts into alignment with who you really are, all resistance subsides, and you then allow the expansion or growth that your life experience has inspired within you. And then
Mm.
it goes on. Freedom is the basis of your life experience. It is not something that you have to earn. Joy is your objective. Growth is the result of all of that. But if you believe that you are unworthy and you set out to prove worthiness through action, you cannot find your balance. Often we explain this perfect triad of intentions of freedom and growth and joy, but most physical beings then turn their attention immediately to the idea of growth in their misguided attempt of proving worthiness, worthiness that has never been in question. You have nothing to prove to anyone and nothing to justify. Your reason for existence needs no justification, for your very existence is justification alone.
Hmm. Was that not perfect? Perfect, perfect, perfect to what we were just talking about.
This
It
quote has
actually
been
blows
like,
my mind.
yes, like this has just been like my mantra. Move, your body wants to move, and like you don't need to focus on growth or proving worthiness
It.
of any sort. Just
That's
feeling
it.
good and training your thoughts to all that you are.
Gosh, it is that simple. Like it all comes back to worthiness, right?
Yeah, to, like,
Like,
knowing it and, like, gradually allowing yourself to know it more and more and more.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Wow. That is
Or
so
or
freaking good.
immediately. I mean, gradually or
Yeah.
immediately, but, like, I just I still, like, I still believe that, like, we reach these, limits of our container, and then we immediately create a new container that has new potential within it. But I think that sort of like the onion, like, I just believe that, like, we can have pops and they feel significant, especially if you're going from like, being consistently in a low vibration to even raising up
Yes.
from like regularly discontent to feeling content. Like that's going to feel like a big pop. You know what
Yep.
I mean? But like over time, it's like this sort of smaller but incremental and steady and fast paced movement.
Yes.
Like it's kind of indetectable, but it's occurring, and it's not with your focus on the growth itself, but with your focus
Yep.
on feeling good. That ensures it occurs.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Which is, there's so much actually. Okay. Let me, there's so much I could say to that.
I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry.
And I'll say, I will tie this back to the name of this podcast, right? It's happening for you. And it's what the council says, Sarah Landon has said. It's what I believe is that everything is happening for us to expand, grow, gather more clarity, witness more of our power and more of our worthiness.
Yeah.
Each experience that we have is part of that expansion.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you just were speaking about, because it's like we have these experiences and then we're like, oh, we have now just moved into a new level of our power, a new level of love for ourselves. And then it's like the next experience then allows for even more of that and more. There's always more. There's always more. There's infinite potentials, infinite possibilities.
Yeah.
So good.
So good. Wow.
Okay.
A buzz of good energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. You can visit us at www.itshappeningforyou.com for more information about upcoming episodes and previous episodes, and just learn more about us. Here we go.
And a 3, and a 2, and a 1, and a welcome to, right?
It's
But
happening.
let's start from the beginning.
It's Happening For You podcast with Rob and Maharay.
And Stephanie Lentini, the podcast about mastering the creation process and living a life of extraordinary possibilities.
Join us as we just talk every week and chat and share.
Have way too much fun. We love you.
We love you.
Thank you for being here with us.
And the beat drops.
And the beat drops.